In January 2005, an astronomer named Mike Brown found something in the sky that would change the solar system forever. He had discovered a new object, far beyond Neptune, large enough to be called a planet. He named it EarthIs, and it forced the entire scientific community to ask an uncomfortable question. If EarthIs counts as a planet, does Pluto still count as one? In 2006, the International Astronomical Union voted. Pluto was demoted, reclassified as a dwarf planet. Mike Brown became known online, half jokingly, half furiously, as the man who killed Pluto. He has a website. The domain is literally plutokiller.com. He has never apologized. But here is what almost nobody talks about. The same man who killed one planet now says he has found evidence of another. Not a dwarf planet, not a Pluto-sized rock, something with 10 times the mass of Earth, hiding in the darkest, coldest, most distant region of our own solar system. And he is not the only scientist who believes it is real. This is the story of Planet 9, a world we have never seen, that we cannot photograph, that some scientists are now almost certain exists, and the story of how we found it without ever actually finding it. To understand Planet 9, we have to go back over 100 years. In the late 1800s, astronomers noticed something strange about the orbit of Uranus. It wobbled. It drifted slightly from where the math said it should be. Scientists proposed an explanation: an undiscovered planet beyond Neptune with enough gravity to pull Uranus off course. They called it Planet X. In 1930, while searching for that planet, an astronomer found something. Not the massive planet they expected, a small, icy world, Pluto. For decades, everyone assumed the mystery was solved. Pluto was Planet X. But Pluto was far too small to explain Uranus's wobble. The real answer came later, in the 1990s, when scientists recalculated Neptune's mass and the wobble disappeared from the math entirely. Planet X was never real, or so everyone believed for another 20 years. Then in 2014, two astronomers noticed something nobody had paid attention to before. Distant icy objects in the Kuiper belt, far beyond Neptune, were not orbiting randomly. Their orbits were clustered, pointing in similar directions, tilted at similar angles, as if something was lining them up. 6 of these objects, investigated by Mike Brown and his colleague Konstantin Batygin, all followed strangely similar elliptical paths. The odds of that happening by random chance, they calculated, were less than 1%. Something had to be shepherding them, something massive, with enough gravity to herd 6 separate objects into matching orbits. In 2016, Brown and Batygin published their theory, Planet 9, not a small icy world like Pluto, a genuine planet, roughly 10 times the mass of Earth, orbiting so far out that one full trip around the Sun would take somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 years. Think about that for a second. The last time this planet, if it exists, completed even a small fraction of one orbit, humans had not yet invented writing. So why haven't we just pointed a telescope at it and looked? Because at that distance, sunlight is incredibly faint. A planet that far from the Sun reflects almost no light at all. It would be one of the darkest objects in the entire solar system. Not because it is small, because it is so far away that almost no light ever reaches it. We are not looking for a bright object. We are looking for an almost invisible object, somewhere across a region of sky larger than most people can imagine. Astronomers have compared it to searching for a single specific grain of sand, somewhere on an entire beach the size of a continent. Now, here is where this story gets current, because this is not old news. In 2025, astronomers identified a new candidate object, nicknamed 2017 OF201, roughly 700 kilometers across, with a wildly elliptical orbit. Its orbit does not match a circular path around the Sun at all. It behaves exactly like the other shepherded objects. Then, in early 2026, astronomers using the Subaru telescope in Hawaii found something even more significant: a new object, nicknamed Ammonite. It has maintained a stable orbit for an estimated 4.5 billion years, almost the entire age of the solar system. But here is the detail that excited researchers. Ammonite follows a completely different orbit than the other shepherded objects. Which means, if Planet 9 is shepherding this object too, it has to be even farther out than scientists originally predicted. The search area just got bigger, and the planet, if it exists, just got more distant and harder to find. Now, I have to be honest with you about something. Not every astronomer agrees Planet 9 is real. Some researchers argue that the clustering of those distant orbits could be a statistical illusion caused by the limited and uneven way we have searched the sky so far. In other words, maybe we are not seeing a real pattern. Maybe we are seeing the shape of where we happened to look and mistaking it for gravity. As of today, the scientific community as a whole is still waiting for direct observational evidence, a real photograph, a real detection, not an inference. But here is what makes this different from most unsolved mysteries. In 2024, Mike Brown, the same man who once killed a planet, said this: "I think it is very unlikely that Planet 9 does not exist. There are currently no other explanations for the effects that we see, nor for the myriad other Planet 9-induced effects we see on the solar system." Read that again. Not other astronomers being cautious. The man whose entire career has been built on rigorous, often unpopular conclusions, saying he is now almost certain. So let's say, for a moment, that Planet 9 is real. What would that actually mean? It would mean our solar system has a planet roughly 10 times the mass of Earth that no human being has ever seen with their own eyes, or even photographed directly. It would mean that for the entirety of human history, this massive world has been silently shaping the orbits of objects at the edge of our own solar system, and we never noticed. It would mean that everything we were taught about our solar system, 8 planets, clean and complete, was missing one of the largest objects in it. And it would mean that something with 10 times Earth's gravity has been quietly orbiting our sun the entire time anyone alive today has existed, completing less than 1/100th of a single lap. Right now, observatories like the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile, built specifically to survey the entire night sky in extraordinary detail, are scanning the exact regions where Planet 9 is predicted to be. Some astronomers believe it could finally be found within the next few years. Not decades, years. Imagine that headline. A 9th planet, real, confirmed, photographed for the first time in human history. And imagine the man who would have to write that headline about the same solar system where he once removed a planet instead of finding one. Here is what we know for certain. 6 distant objects share suspiciously similar orbits. That clustering has less than a 1% chance of being random. New objects discovered in 2025 and 2026 continue to match the pattern. And one of the most respected planetary astronomers alive says he is now almost certain something massive is out there. What we do not know is exactly where it is, what it looks like, or when, if ever, we will actually see it. For now,
Planet 9 exists only as a shadow, a pattern in the orbits of smaller, colder, more distant worlds. A gravitational fingerprint with no face attached to it. Pluto took 76 years between its discovery and its demotion. Planet 9 has already been theorized for over a decade, without a single confirmed photograph. Somewhere out there, moving so slowly that it has barely shifted positions since astronomers first proposed it exists, something massive is completing the longest, coldest, loneliest orbit in our solar system. And every single night, somewhere on Earth, a telescope is pointed at the dark, quietly hoping to finally see it looking back. We killed one planet. We are still searching for another. And the solar system we thought we understood completely may have one more secret left, hiding exactly where nobody can see it.